protection law point of view, at least, a pretty consistent framework between us and them.
Just very briefly, because I think that Amendments 233 and 234 were well motivated by the Noble Lord Knight of Weymouth. I've just got a couple of queries. Firstly, I think we need to consider what the criteria is for who is considered worthy of the privileged status of receiving Ofcom approval as these researchers, because we're discussing researchers as though they're totally reliable and trustworthy. We might even think that, if they are academic researchers, they're bound to be. But I thought there was an interesting example earlier this week of a bit of confirmation bias that can lead to mistakes. When King's College had to issue a correction to their survey data, which was used by the BBC's Conspiracy Land show, and King's College admitted that they'd wildly overestimated the numbers of those reading the conspiracy newspaper The Light, and had wildly overestimated the size of those attending what they dubbed conspiracy demonstrations. So far, by the way, BBC Verify has failed to verify the mistake that they repeated. But I give that not as a glib point, but because I think we can't just say, oh, because the researchers are credited elsewhere, that they should just be allowed in. I also think that the requirement to give all such assistance as they may reasonably require to carry out their research sounds like a potentially very time-consuming effort, potentially quite expensive, and I thought that those points that the Noble Lord Allen of Hallam raised about, can't or won't, or is this going to mean that they must or should, and who decides whether it's ethical that they should in all instances? Because there are ethical questions here that I thought have been raised well. Questions of privacy are not trivial. Studying individuals as specimens of, bad think, wrong think, might appear to be in the public interest in this House, but without the consent of people can be quite damaging. And I think we just have to decide which questions fulfil the public interest so sufficiently that consent could be overridden in that way. So I don't think it's a slam dunk that what looks like a sensible point, because all of us want more research, good research, data that we can use in arguments on whatever side we're on. I don't doubt that. But it doesn't mean that we should just nod something through without at least pausing.
Lords, I declare an interest as a trustee